back, Peel Garden Rebirds fans. Today on the podcast, we're going to do some talking plus, etc. My name's Dexter McDexter, and I would like to personally welcome you to the podcast and to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now here's Joe, and here's Pete, or here's Peel Garter and one of the Rebirds.
Get out. Go.
Yeah, right there.
Was that a silly laugh I heard?
I don't know. I was pushing him out the door. Did you hear what he called you? One of the Rebirds. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to make a joke, but
Yeah, he's still going with Dexter McDexter, I noticed.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, let's not talk about him. Move along.
Okay. Well, I wanted to actually bring up something we had been talking about before in the show, and we ran out of time, and I wanted to bring it back up.
Oh, really?
I was wondering if we were going to get that. That's today's Oh Really moments. Put down in the card.
Whoa.
The what?
What? Is that a lick?
No, that one's not. That was just a slip of the tongue.
You said cod pod. I don't think.
Well, if it's a lick for me, you just repeated it.
Well, no, that
Let's
is
just agree that's not
a
a lick.
repeat. Well, no, I don't want to agree. I think you shouldn't be saying that.
Okay, what I meant was comment down below what time it was during the podcast that Pete said, "Oh, really?" to win your free PL Garden Reburns T-shirt.
All right.
No, what I wanted to talk about was you know how you
Especially if you're a medium.
if you happen to wear a medium T-shirt, you might get one of those for free easier than you think. We were talking about giving people nicknames, and you said you had.
Yeah.
You remember you were like.
Unfortunately,
you said to me, "Have you ever given someone a nickname that you kind of wish you hadn't?"
Yep.
And I said to you, "Yes, you and I did that together."
I totally forgot about that. Yes, we did. Probably the most infamous one I could ever think of. Yeah, we. Do you want? You go ahead. You're better at setting these things up, man. You go ahead.
Okay, all right,
Here's jump in with the story.
all right. We played at the Opry when we were young, and there was this really talented musician that played there.
Like far beyond anybody. Like I talk about how freakishly well Roger can sing harmony to songs he's never heard.
Right.
But this goes beyond that. This was a level of intelligence which I've yet to encounter again.
You know what? You know what it's like? It's like if you tried to ask someone that's like great at something how they do that, and they have no answer for you because it's like I don't know. I'm just great at it. You know. That's kind of what he reminded me of, because it was like it didn't matter what instrument you put in front of him, he somehow knew them all. And he would try to teach us things, and they just go. I mean, they just fly right over your head. Like I don't even understand that.
He tried to show me things on the drums,
right?
But he would hold the sticks upside down.
Yeah.
To where, for me, the sticks were not upside down.
Right. He was trying to put the sticks in your perspective.
He was trying to make it to where I could see what the sticks should look like when I hit the drum.
Right.
But to me, they looked like he was just doing it upside down, and I was just like, what? Right.
And do you
because his hands were upside down is what I should say. You know, so he's looking at me playing the drums with the sticks faced the right way, and he's doing the right beat. He was amazing.
Right.
But he played the steel. He played the piano. I mean, he played everything.
Did you ever hear him play guitar?
Yeah, I have heard him play guitar.
Yeah, he's stupid good at it. Like anyway, so that's the point, is that this guy was like beyond. Now I won't use his real name, I guess, but let's call him. He had a real simple name. It was like it might as well have been John or Steve, you know, something like this. And you just felt like, no, man, this guy should be named like.
That's literally his real name. I cannot believe you just did that.
No one would have known that if you hadn't said it.
Sorry.
It was Steven. Let's pretend it was Steven, not Steve.
My name is John Steven, and I don't take any shit from anybody.
But
even if it was a character,
no, man, that was the characters can't say it either. Here it comes. I knew that one was solid. That felt better than last time. Anyway, so Steve,
you should probably reset why you just did that to people that don't know.
Oh, that's right. People might not understand why we're smacking each other with crap up in here. We have a new sponsor in our show, and we want to give a special thank to Howard Publishing for sponsoring the show. But they did want us to lay off the swear words, and we said we will try our hardest. And this is our effort of trying.
So, like us, we signed a contract and didn't read it.
Like we do with
so
old Will Russell.
When we curse, we have to get a lick.
That's our attempt. That's our attempt to be better. And man, it'll get your arm.
I don't know how long this is going to last. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
So Steve just didn't fit this guy, man. We had to it was like,
yeah, it was way too simple of a name for such a complex human being.
Like you would expect him to have a name like Amadeus or something like that, like something.
So me and Joe used to sit up at the Opry at night and make demos on this little 8-track recorder we had.
Yeah,
and it had a lot of voice altering functions,
right? Little effects,
and we were just going through them one night. Listen, your voice will be way down low. Your voice will be way up high.
Right.
Well, then there was one called Alien.
Yeah.
And it was just like this. Your voice would modulate.
Sound weird. Yeah, man. It was.
And I
you know what it
Joe,
sounded like? You remember? You know that Beastie Boys song, Intergalactic Planetary? That little,
another dimension.
Right.
Another dimension. Now we're gonna get flagged. Another dimension. Howard Publishing could have fun playing Def Jam. Anyway,
when we hit that voice on the recorder,
yeah, it was like I looked at Joe and I said, sometimes when Steven is talking to you, do you feel like this?
It's like you sound
like he's just an alien trying to sound like a human because he's so smart, that it's just so much beyond us. And you were like, yeah. And I was like, and I got back on there. I said, hello, my name is Cleptron. I am here to serve the greater good of music and rock and roll. And then we both were just taking turns on the mic going.
Stupid alien voice. That stupid little alien voice.
I am Cleptron, sitting here to help you two stupid idiots record and play the drums.
Right.
And so then we told people about this.
Yeah.
And it was like we started a grass fire.
Oh, it caught fire quick.
Of people just calling this guy Cleptron.
Because everyone agreed. Like, everyone else that knew him or was in the band with him was like, oh, that's great. You're totally right. He's not like a Steven. He's more like a Cleptron.
Yeah. It's not. We didn't mean it to make fun of him or be offensive. This guy's a better musician than we will ever be.
Right.
Combined.
It was
just meant to be like, look, man, this guy's on another level.
Right.
He doesn't have a normal human name.
Exactly.
He must not be from Earth.
Right. It was a term of endearment, really. It was like...
Because okay, we should explain this better. Like, if something at the Opry was going wrong, like if we kicked off a song and it just didn't have the groove, you could always just be like, here comes the piano.
Oh, yeah.
Or here's steel guitar to save the day.
Oh, absolutely.
Or you know what I mean? Like, he saved the day.
Right.
And I'm not putting anybody down.
No.
I'm just trying to put him over. Like, he was just like...
Right.
You felt like there was a safety net.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to get at. Like, I knew if everything broke down, you know what I mean? Like, we can just
absolutely. We could be having the worst show we ever had. And Steven's going to be solid. And, I remember too. It felt like he never had to learn a song hardly. It was just like he could just play them all,
Yeah.
And so I always thought oh man, this dude is super talented at piano. Like he must have learned piano at an early age and been playing piano for years. It was he just kind of picked up piano in his spare time because he just did music. Period. So a lot of times in different bands he'd play a guitar or he'd play a bass or he'd play the drums or he'd play anything.
You played with him in another band,
yeah,
right?
I played with him in a couple of bands.
What did he play in that other band?
In one band, he played the piano, guitar, melodica, and I think that was the 3 instruments I saw him play that day. And it was amazing because when I saw him play guitar, it's like, holy crap, he's as good at guitar as he is piano. That's not fair. I knew it was coming. But anyway, we should get back to the point of the story. What happened here is this name Cleptron caught fire. Everyone called him Cleptron. No one anymore called him Steven, unless they were talking to him to his face. Right. And he never heard the name Cleptron. He never heard it.
But I feel like there were times we had to go hey, we don't call him Cleptron. Because it felt like it'd be disrespectful for people that were 30 years younger than you to call you a different name.
Be calling you some nickname. Well, what was bad is if we had come out in the next practice or whatever at the next show and been like, hey, Steve, we've been calling you Cleptron because you're so good at music. And then it could have caught on organically.
That would have been better.
But instead, we were just everyone just said it behind his back.
Yeah.
But like I said, it wasn't
It wasn't mean. It was like the only thing that I've ever a nickname like that was like a term of endearment almost.
Listen, I was talking to an old member of the band the other day that we both know.
Yeah.
That, they were already a little bit older whenever we were in that band.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're like quite a bit older than us, And they asked me the other day. They said, "Joe, what was the name of that guy in our band?" And I said, Stephen Jones.
I actually know Stephen Jones. That's not who we're talking about.
No, that's not who we're talking about. This is a name pregnant. I was like, Stephen? Remember it was Stephen Jones? And this member of the band.
Once again, not actually Stephen Jones that everybody knows.
Stephen Johnson, how about that? Stephen Gillum. And so I said, Steve Gillum. And the band member goes, no. And I went, Cleptron?
Cleptron.
And they went, yeah, Cleptron. I was like, that's funny. Like, people don't even remember his name, just remember Cleptron. So this guy is so talented at piano. I'm getting married.
And congratulations. Big news coming to town for Peel Garner and Lieberman. Dexter.
That one did sound confusing, right? Like, I made it sound like the reason that I decided to get married.
Oh, really? Congratulations.
Because Cleptron could really play the
good job. No, get out of here, Dexter. Not done yet. Sorry.
Anyway,
that was a joke.
Later in my life, I'm getting married. This is back in
you're planning
2000. And so I'm like, me and my wife, we picked out like 5 songs to have played at our wedding, and then we just needed someone else to do music. I didn't have enough money to hire a whole band. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew they had a piano at the venue, like a big grand piano.
Right.
And so I asked Cleptron, I was like, hey man, hey Steve, can you play my wedding? And he was like, well, do you want me to like learn some specific songs? I was like, no, man, just go up there and like noodle on the piano. Just make pretty sounding piano in a room music, I don't care what you do. And he did it. And so everyone at my wedding venue was like, so what time's Cleptron getting here? And I was like, Cleptron ought to be here about 2:00. And they were like, okay, cool. Well, so Cleptron, what does he look like? Or did you tell him where to park? Or, they're asking all these questions. And then finally it dawns on me. Now Steve is going to be at the venue at like 2:15, and it is like 2:14. Okay, and they're asking me about him, and I said, "Oh, hey, by the way, he doesn't know that we've been calling him Cleptron for 16 years or whatever, And my wedding planner just looked at me like, "What?" And I was like, "He doesn't know we call him Cleptron. That's not his real name. His name is Steven."
Like, nobody in the world's real name is Cleptron.
Right. Yeah, I know, but she just looked at me like, his name isn't Cleptron? And I was like, no, it's Steven. We just call him that because he's so... I tried to explain to her. But here's the embarrassing part. I'm trying to explain to her why we call him Cleptron. The story that we've been telling for 10 minutes now. Yeah. I'm trying to tell her this story like, well, he's just so crazy about music like you. And in the meantime, he's walking up behind me, and she can tell that it's him from my description. And she's just smiling and looking at me, kind of like you did at Whataburger that time. Except she's trying to give me a little more of a hint. She's looking at me like, I get, And so
you had a Three's Company moment at your wedding.
I really did. I'm in my tux.
That's funny, man.
Talking about wedding. What was funny is, she then, the wedding, there was, like a wedding staff, like it was mostly my family was doing it to help me, but everyone in my family thought that was his name. And so she was like, oh, okay, let me show you Steven, where you're going to be, and like pointed over at the piano, and then ran off to go tell everyone else at the wedding, like, hey, don't call him Cleptron. Don't call him Cleptron. That's not his name.
He came up to me and goes, I think people think my name is Clifford.
Shut up.
No. What's funny about that is like he still has that thing that all musicians have, man. Because I remember I just thought about this while you were talking. Like, I was listening, but he goes, he comes up to me during one of his breaks at your wedding, and he's just like, oh man, I don't know. How does it sound? I was like,
Really?
great, man. He goes, oh man, I don't know. You want to go play for a little bit? I was like, no.
What?
Gonna go play for a little bit.
Really?
We're gonna play the piano after you.
What?
Yeah, it was just, I know. Man.
That's crazy.
Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess it's a musician thing,
like,
man.
dude, you're doing far beyond what anybody.
Right. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a big Cleptron fan, man.
I know, dude. I got like people telling me how cool it was that I had that piano music going on. Like people loved it. But you know what? I think
we should have. I really wish we could have him on the podcast, but then at that point, we'll explain to him.
We'll have to tell him.
Called you Cleptron for 20 years behind your back.
If you really want him on, you're gonna have to comment down below. But you know what? There ain't no telling where he might be living on.
I don't know. Man.
The moon. There's no telling where he is now.
He might materialize in our rooms tonight simultaneously. I heard you were speaking of me.
What if we stumbled upon the truth of his identity?
Here's what's great about him, man. Like you'd watch him play the piano, it didn't look like he was moving. Or know, I mean, his hands are obviously moving, but when I play the piano, I feel like everybody in the world can see my fat butt jiggling around. Like
I feel like I must look like you know those old commercials where they would show like what's inside your brain and it would be like gears turning and going I feel like when you look at me while I'm playing piano, you must see that. You must see like literally looks like a cartoon with gears turning in his head trying to keep this thing going before it falls apart.
All right, let's think about piano players. How many of them look cool when they're playing the piano? Jerry Lee Lewis.
Right.
Okay, now who else?
The two blind old men look cool, and that's
okay. Ray Charles and
Stevie Wonder.
Okay, Ronnie Millsap.
And Ronnie, yeah. Actually, I've never seen Ronnie Millsap play piano. To be honest, I've heard him.
Really?
I've heard.
You never seen a clip of Ronnie Millsap? You never seen like "Stranger in My" the video?
But is he playing a lot of piano in that, or is he just in it?
I'm sure he's freaking playing the piano in that video. You think Ronnie Millsap... I would be funny if Ronnie Millsap has videos where he's just like dancing.
I know that video pretty like Backstreet Boys or something. Oh, like Michael Jackson.
Oh, dude. I saw a... it's going to sound like I'm hating, but I saw... it was perfectly fine, but there's a... You know how they do the Crossroads... show they used to get two bands that you wouldn't normally think would be together.
You would get like something like Keith Urban and Creedence Clearwater.
Yeah. And so they did Los Lonely Boys.
Los Lonely Boys.
And Ronnie Millsap.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's kind of funny.
I mean, I thought, what in the hell?
I feel like hell's not so bad.
I don't think we should do hell, but anyway.
I'll give you that one, bro.
Thanks, man.
Fuck. It's not so bad.
Shit.
Oh, okay. For shit, you get one.
Oh, you said it too, man. Okay, give me one. I gotta give you one. All right, give it to me. All right, do it. Hurry. All right, my turn. Act like it stung a little bit.
Oh, boy.
You shouldn't be cursing, man. You shouldn't be cursing on the podcast. No more.
Oh, you're supposed to...
That slap was brought to you by Howard Publishing.
Oh,
all right, what were we talking about before I had to smack
Ronnie Millsap being blind and deaf.
So, it's not deaf.
It's dancing. No, being blind and dancing.
Oh, well, anyway, and so they did the Los Lonely Boys thing, but I thought it was just some random pairing. You know, I thought, man, whoever did this should be like fired or just draw names out of a hat, like
right.
But
come on.
It was, I guess, the Los Lonely Boys had grown up. Their dad was a big time Ronnie Millsap guy.
Oh.
So they had like that kind of tie. And then it touched me so much. And I cried my eyes out.
I bet you really did. I bet you cried stuff all the time.
I changed the channel. I don't remember. I do remember this about that song. How far is heaven? Yeah. That was a hit on the radio for so long.
Yeah.
Like I remember. So
I still hear it every now and then.
It was like coming back to college and we're getting our stuff out of a storage unit.
Right.
And that song plays 5 times on the radio. Of
course. Yes.
And then the next year when I got my stuff out of the storage unit again, it was like deja vu because that
it just kept coming on.
It was like, man, this song's still really just hitting like this.
I know. Jeez. Yeah. I think I heard one other single of the Los Lonely Boys in my life that they tried to put out, and it was like, nope.
I'm not hating. I'm not trying to sound like a hater, because
No.
let me tell you what.
Listen, when that song came out, I was like,
When
dang.
it gets hot outside, I bet them Los Lonely Boys go get in their pool.
Yeah, that's true.
And when them Los Lonely Boys want to play a gig, they play a gig.
I bet if the Los Lonely Boys did a podcast, they
Better
would be,
guitar player now.
I bet they would gain more subscribers and not lose them.
Absolutely.
We lost one recently.
Yeah, we recently. Not that they passed, that they just got so much tired of our crud.
Well,
They got so much tired of our crud, they left us.
at first I thought it was me that pushed them away, but I don't.
I think it was.
I kind of think it was you now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's not normally what the focus groups say.
The focus groups.
The reports I get back are
From Howard Publishing, they're like, we focus grouped your show. Listen, guys, we've got a lot of problems.
we need a lot more Zach.
Right? I know. Zach is always consistently good, man. Zach makes me laugh when he does stuff with it.
What's funny is when we get him to do something for no cover,
Yeah.
like I always feel like I'm like
Dude,
like in his head he's like, I can't believe I do this crap.
I know.
But then when he does it, he's real funny.
I know. He's the best improviser out of all of us.
Yeah, he is.
Because for a no cover, we might just be like, all right,
He's like,
here's the idea.
he has no context of what
Right,
we're doing.
right.
Like he's just like, okay.
Right. Exactly.
Like I think if I was like, I mean, I consider him to be part of the band. I don't. Hopefully that's what he considers too.
Yeah, I think.
I can only
we'll
imagine
consider
if
that.
two jackasses I barely knew were like,
Hey, man, do you mind if we?
hey, now, tell me to kick him in the nuts.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. Thanks, man.
And you know what? The more sponsors we get, it's only going to grow. And we're going to end up having to tell them stuff like, hey, man, in this one, will you come up and, like, bust this watermelon over my head? Or, I mean, some ridiculous thing.
What if he?
Or, you know what? Let me tell you what's embarrassing. Let me tell you what the most embarrassing thing is.
Okay.
Is if you're trying to shoot something for no cover.
Oh yeah.
And you're trying to get someone else involved with you, because every now and then, I mean, we can't just do every single thing
Yeah, it's
ourselves.
just me and you.
Right. We got to get someone in there. And, like, so we get Zach in there. Here's the embarrassing part when you have to be like, okay, I think we need to do that, like, again. You know what I mean? Like,
The other night when we did it, I didn't press record.
Right.
Oh god, that was horrible.
that was a good practice run.
Hey, okay, so walk back down those stairs.
Act
And
like
then
it's
walk back.
organic again.
Pretend like we did this again. Oh, that's embarrassing. Or when you're like,
Oh, that's so embarrassing, man.
I mean, doing a dumb little show with your band is one thing, or me and
Right.
you, or people we know.
Yeah.
But it is kind of weird when you're like ask the other two people that we have on no cover sometimes
Right.
that like,
To be like, hey, man.
hey, I'm gonna. You,
would you mind wearing that thing that you have?
hey, do you think it would be funny? And
Oh, my God.
in my head, like, what's funny is I catch myself sometimes thinking like,
Right.
they have every right to go. Look, man, can you just leave?
Or we see like an old friend of ours and be like, hey, man, while you're here, do you mind if we take a video of you and put it on the internet?
Yeah, I've got like I've had what we've been talking about doing for no cover. I'm not going to give it away, but I was thinking about old musician friends that we could get to do bits.
Yeah.
Like just send them in, and I thought, how do you approach that?
You already got Roger in one.
Hey man, oh yeah,
Right. How'd you feel being like, hey,
it was easy because Roger is down for stupid. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
he knew, like, dude. I think of the people that we know in our web of we got to grab a guy type guys.
Yeah.
Like, they know good and well there might be some tomfoolery that goes on.
Yeah. Dude, see, I think that, I don't think Zach minds it. You know what I mean? I think he's down for doing that kind of stuff. Because, I mean, he could tell us no.
No, yeah.
Something tells me that Zach is also the kind of dude that would be like, no.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Quit.
If he didn't want
hey,
to.
don't really put that up.
Right.
That's why I always thought
Right.
that, like, the other guys would be like, hey, man, like, you can film that, but
Right.
please don't put that on the internet. And, I'm glad that they don't care. It's awesome. But,
Nah, he had a real funny idea about us making, like, getting in a fight on stage and him just be doing
oh, yeah, that was real funny.
rib shots. Oh man, he's good at it, man. I hope we get him on this very podcast at some point. Let me tell you,
This very podcast.
well, I guess not this exact one.
This varied podcast. That could be your name. This varied podcast.
This very.
As a stretch. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I don't know. We could ask.
We could for what?
We could focus
Oh.
group. We could ask Howard Publishing to focus group that. So
you've done really good about not cussing. I'm very impressed.
Thank you very much.
You did it one time today. It was a repeating of me.
Listen, I'm serious about the sponsorship in this show, and if
we can show that we can not cuss.
Right.
We can get some serious sponsors, like maybe like a U.S. smokeless tobacco or Black and Milds.
What if it was something you hated? What if something you hated wanted to sponsor the show?
I would quit hating it once they paid me.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody was like old lady perfume, I'd be like, oh, I love old lady. Well, Joe, that reminds me, I love old lady perfume.
Exactly.
And if you would like to get some old lady perfume, you get it here and there and whatever, and spray that shit all over yourself and make everybody.
At least I didn't just slap you in my hand.
I didn't. Yeah.
Anyway.
We all have our reasons and methods. Excuse me, methods. I didn't mean reasons. The reason was that you cursed and you needed to be punished.
I bet, man. I bet we could get. What if we went around to like all the businesses around town? Do you think we could get like a dentist office?
That's acceptable when you're 16 and you work for the yearbook at your school.
Just like,
but when you're in your upper 30s,
listen,
going to a dentist who is also in their upper 30s and asking them to give you $200 for your podcast, I would just rather go eat some dog shit. I think.
Oh my god!
Sorry. Oh man, that was.
You had to know it was coming. We do have one sponsor. Oh, you just pretend we don't.
Okay.
Well, look, I'm not saying. What if we went up to the dentist's office and was like, we do a podcast.
Are we filming this for no cover? Because that would be funny.
And we also sell candy bars.
Here's what we should just do. We should get a picture of us and put it on like a clear Folgers can or whatever,
Okay.
And just go to different businesses and be like, hey, and cut a hole in the top.
Like at the gas station?
Yeah, and just go like, can we just put this up here? And people are like, well, what's it for? It's be like, man, just for like our shit, like what we do. Sorry.
That's funny.
And people just drop a couple bucks in there and be like, we'll be back to pick it up on Fridays.
Just drop their loose change. We go pick it up and it's like, dude, it's always filled with like $2.98 worth of nickels and
a penny and a nickel stuck together with a piece of gum.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, that would be funny. Local band. Support local bands.
Support local bands.
Actually, support 2/3 of a local band. The other guy doesn't live
here. You know what though? Here's the thing. To me, as embarrassing as it would be to try to go up to like the local businesses around here and the florist and the local candy shop and try to peddle our podcast, that is as embarrassing as whenever we have one of our friends and we're like, hey man, thanks for shooting this with us. We need to redo that.
Yeah,
we need to redo that scene now.
Can you speak a little more clearly?
Thank you. Right. Like thank you for doing this totally ridiculous, dumb thing we asked you to do. We couldn't ask. That's so nice of you. We need to do that same thing again, though. You're going to feel like an even bigger jackass the second time you do it. Trust me. Let me tell you, that's another embarrassing thing when it's just you and me filming, and it's like, okay, let's try this for the third time. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I don't know what you're talking about. That stuff's all real.
That's. Oh man, that's funny.
Then, well, I don't know, dude.
Dude,
what did you do?
Well, I had a story I thought we might share on Joe's story time if we have time.
Let's do it. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it.
Dude, you're bad at this, man. Oh,
just get to talking. It's just me, man. Just me. It's being stifled by the man.
That man is our sponsor, Howard Publishing. If you need something published,
he's sponsoring all these bruises.
Check out Howard Publishing. Well, we just got to say their name a certain number of times, and we're all good. And we don't want to cuss. So in high school.
Welcome to Joe's Story Time, everybody. Come on in, sit crisscross applesauce, and shut your mouths.
Thank you very much. When I was
turn off your cell phones. Sorry, no, don't turn off your cell phone. You're listening to this on your cell.
Right. What are you talking about?
Did you boys tell people to turn off their cell phone?
We can't be sponsoring you guys.
Sorry, go ahead.
You're going to tell your audience to stop listening.
Here's Joe Ben with the story.
So when I was in high school, I knew a guy that had a science teacher. And this science teacher used to be like the year before she taught high school science, she was like a kindergarten teacher. Okay. And so in class, she would address all these like juniors as kindergartners. Like it would be like, okay, class, today let's pull out your book. We're going to do these worksheets. Like, and at first, listen, for about one day, so my friend tells me, we all were like, this is ridiculous.
When you say because my friend tells me, is this because you just blatantly didn't go to school? Or
well, that's
you just weren't in this class?
Pete, today we're telling the story about this science class.
Sorry.
Not that. We can talk about that some other time. Anyway, so for about a couple of days, we were all kind of like, or my friend were all kind of like, are you kidding me? We're going to have to deal with like kindergarten voice all year. But in a few days, it just kind of like became funny, and she was nice. So it was like we didn't kill her on it.
Come
you know
on
what
in,
I mean?
Boys and girls.
Right.
And put your bags down.
We just let her do it. We were like, she's a nice lady. She just can't, like we understood this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it makes sense. She just thought kindergarten. The next year, she was still the exact same way. The next year, they all took another science class with her. She acted the exact same way, but she got a big old boob job.
Nice.
And it made for a really weird dynamic because now these are...
Come on in and sit down and look at my big old boobies.
Listen, some of my friends are the kind that would do this kind of thing. Miss Johnson, there's something different about you. And listen, in her little like kindergarten class way, she'd be like, well, I moved this year to a new place. And listen, my friends would be like, no, that's not it. No, I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't think that's it. You know? And she would just look up there like so embarrassed because, you know, kindergartners wouldn't do that. Or if they did, she would know how to deal with it. But it's a bunch of 17 or 18-year-olds going, hey, what's
Miss
new
Johnson,
about you?
Could you help me with this real quick?
Right. You know, what was funny is...
What about this one right here?
Well, you know what? That should probably be the end of the story because it's...
What?
Well,
what are we talking about here? You start a story about...
No. I mean, that was the main part of the story. I was going to tell more, and then I thought, if I tell too much more, we'll know which friend I'm talking about, and...
That'd just be detrimental to
I don't want Howard Publishing to think
the world will stop spinning around if we start naming names on this show.
Well, listen.
Damn it.
Come on now.
That's a freebie. Ow.
We told...
dude.
Hey, now. You told me that counts, too.
No, I said, ow, dude. Ow, dude.
Bullshit.
Up!
Oh, come on, man. No.
Which one? Well, left or right?
Left.
Oh!
No, I said...
Sorry, that last one was a little rough.
Oh, my Lord.
Okay, sorry.
Come on now.
I got a little quick on the draw on that one.
Jeez.
Well, dude, I mean...
Okay.
Do you want like you told me? Do you want a sponsor, or do you want to cuss on the internet?
Okay, you're right.
Here, get a tissue. Get a tissue.
I think we should get Dexter in here.
Okay. All right, Dexter, come in here, man. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for listening to the podcast. We certainly do appreciate it. Why don't you stop by there, do a little click on the bell and the likey thing and the subscribing thing and tell your friends. And we'll see you next time. And maybe you need to sit tight for a second and listen to some special scenes from next time. Here you go. So I was like, look, man, go get your friend Daryl and let's see about this. And he goes, all right, boy, here comes my friend Daryl. His friend Daryl Strawberry.
What?
Yeah.
I just saw red, and that was all I remember. Wow. And you'll never guess.
Guess what?
Eggs.
Smeared all over. Oh.